Stop chasing. Look, it's Marcel, aka Honey Bunny Sunny, and you know I'm on a mission to make you some money. Listen, I got a great video for you guys today. Listen, but before I go forward, I want everybody to hit that like and comment something, a question, something that you've been trying to figure out in your trading journey. Below in the comments, I'll get it answered for you. If you're new, hit the subscribe button because I got some valuable information coming to you every single day, and I don't want you to miss it. All right. Now, today's video is about MSTY. I like to call it MSTY, right? So MSTY is the YieldMax covered call strategy fund for MSTR, which is also known as strategy, right? Strategy is headed up by Michael Saylor. And the big thing about strategy is they're the #1 holder of Bitcoin. Okay. Michael Saylor has just been a pioneer in the space. He's been, evangelizing all over the world about Bitcoin and spreading the word. He was a, early adopter, called a lot of very accurate levels in Bitcoin. And now is saying that Bitcoin can go as far as $21 million. And I know it sounds absurd, but everything sounded absurd at some point. At some point you gotta be like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna take a risk on the absurdity. Or just be the person that tells the story about how you could have got in if you would have just put this in, right? You don't want to be that guy. You want to get in on the action. I'd rather try something and it not work out than to have never tried at all, right? That's just me. So, MSTY is covered calls of that particular company, just to give you guys a little bit of a background. Now, MSTY has been on a downward trend, but I want to bring some attention to this right here, right? This is stating that MSTY has recently made a change to their dividend. They're actually switching their dividend to a weekly dividend. It used to be a monthly dividend, but now they're paying it out weekly, which in my opinion is really, really good. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to pull up the chart on MSTY real quick to show you what I mean. Now, MSTY is currently down, right? It's currently down, but it's not out. Now, if you look here, you see that it's just like this thing is getting beat up. No doubt about that. Not even knowing what candlesticks are, anybody can see that this is not good. It's going down, right? It's a downtrend. But what it is forming is it's forming a wedge, right? So really all we need MSTY to do is to break out of this wedge to start making its way back up into these gaps that it needs to fill. That might not be one right there, but these gaps right here, 1, 2, and 3, right? So once it breaks out of here, that is when the buying will resume for me, right? I'm in this in multiple accounts. I'm currently down pretty significantly, probably about 30 something %, right? But like I said, once it shows that it's not going down any further and it wants to change directions, I will resume buying once we get a breakout of this wedge. So I will resume buying probably somewhere around like $13, $14 is where I would resume my purchasing of this particular security. But again, down like 30 something %, close to 40%. For me, just it getting just back up to about 18 would be a full recovery, which I would be happy with, because I've been getting paid on all these shares that I own on a monthly basis. But now they are providing weekly dividends, which I say, in my opinion, is much better, because with the weekly dividends, what you get is the opportunities to take advantage of price action. Right. So I'm using what's called a drip strategy, which is dividend reinvestment strategy. Right. So with the drip strategy, it is, every time you get paid out from that dividend, instead of them writing you a check, or instead of them, sending you the money and you taking it out and going to spend it, it's just automatically going right back into buying more shares. So I know that I said that I'm not buying any more shares until it starts to head back up. That's manually. right? So I'm automatically buying shares with the drip strategy, but I'm not going to manually throw a larger lump sum of money into it until I see that it's breaking to the upside to turn that trend. The reason I don't mind doing it with the drip strategy is because, like I said, it's picking it up at these lower price points every week. So MSTY has a tendency, when it was on a monthly dividend repayment plan, it had a tendency of dropping like right before payouts. So, but then it would go back up, and you would have to wait until like the next month to, I'm sorry, you have to wait a couple of days for like the reinvestment, right? Or sometimes it'll stay down for 2 weeks and then pop back up. But by the time that next dividend reimbursement came back around, you didn't have the the money to take advantage of the price that it was sitting at. So I like the weekly payout because it allows you to take advantage of the price at a lower price more frequently. The payout is currently 0.21, 0.22 is what they're saying is going to be on a weekly basis. So you just multiply that by 4 to get the monthly, which is about 88 cents, right? So whatever amount of shares you have, you just multiply it by 0.88, and that tells you how much you will be getting paid on the monthly basis. Multiply it by 0.21 or 22, one of those two, and that tells you what you'll be making on a weekly basis. So, I just wanted to come and update you guys on that slight change that was made. Also, if you're a person who, prefers like the income to feel more like a job, you could reinvest, maybe 1 week, and then maybe the second week is your paycheck week. Maybe you pay yourself from that, every 2 weeks, right? It's totally up to you how you want to do it. Everybody, goes after dividend stocks for different reasons. They have different, goals and things that they want to do with it. Mine in particular is to accumulate, right? Accumulate, for as long as possible while the stock is down, so that when it does recover, I've been able to accumulate so many, and then over time it'll be able to pay me in a way that really could, replace income, that really could, pay for, a portion of my lifestyle, right? So that's MSTY. I definitely think that you all should check that out, and really just go to YieldMax in general. Again, this is not financial advice, but YieldMax, just go to their website and just see the different types of funds that they have. They have a ton of different strategies that you could really make some good money off of, and they also make it a lot more affordable to get into securities that you wouldn't be able to get into otherwise. So they have a PLTY, which is for Palantir. I believe they have one for Tesla. These are all income-based approaches to some of your favorite stocks. So YieldMax, definitely go look at their website to see if it's anything that interests you. Beyond that, y'all, we are in a very interesting time. I'm going to start probably putting this in all my videos, right? Because I'm really pushing this, and I really want people to understand this, right? There is so much that is taking place in the crypto space right now. There's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna definitely have more videos with more updates. I know a lot of people have been giving me the feedback saying like, hey, I love when you talk about crypto. Can you talk more about crypto and what's coming up and stuff like that? Give us more updates. So I got y'all. So I will be doing that, but there are so many developments that are taking place. Our world, as you know, it is changing, right? If you looked at my last video, I talked about tokenization. There are so many opportunities coming up in crypto because of tokenization, right? When you start seeing these big names like BlackRock, right? JP Morgan Chase, when you start seeing these huge hedge funds and banks starting to pour money into these spaces, you have to know that it's not randomly, right? It's connected. When you start seeing these companies buy up all these different assets, like you've been seeing a lot of houses being purchased by these banks and stuff like that. A lot of, houses that have been sitting in foreclosure, right? Like you just been seeing farms and all types of stuff. You've been seeing these banks just purchase. And what it appears to be is tokenization, right? They're getting as many assets on their books so that they can then give it to you to invest in, right? They own all of this stuff, and they're going to divide it, create funds out of it, and give you the opportunity to have a small fraction and possibly make money in these particular assets. Tokenization is not something that we've never done before, but it is revolutionary in the sense that it has not been done on the blockchain and at the scale that it could possibly be at, right? So when you think about cryptos that are good for that, Ethereum is a really good one for it, because Ethereum is all about decentralization, and it is the perfect platform in which these tokenized assets are being built on, right? So definitely go check out my previous video about that. Do some research on Ethereum, do some research on tokenization. I'm telling you, this is going to be an opportunity of a lifetime. I know investors get on here all the time, like, it's opportunity of a lifetime, wealth transfer. I know you've heard all of that before, but you got to understand that people are not saying it for no reason. It's really happening under your nose, and I don't want you to feel like you don't have enough to participate, right? What you want to start doing is just allocating a specific amount to just consistently go there, and you don't touch it. With success in this particular space, we're talking about 5-7 years down the road, maybe even 10, right? And even further beyond that. But the earlier that you get involved, the further that it will go, right? So let's you know, if the income is not where it needs to be able to allocate what you think you want to allocate, we got to figure out another income. We got to figure out how we can sell some things. We got to be resourceful and creative in this time so that we can take advantage of these opportunities that are formulating, right? The game doesn't change, the players change, and the location changes. So football's the same, but it's different people in the NFL all the time. And after a while of them playing in a particular stadium, they may knock that stadium down and build a new one. Well, blockchain is the new stadium, right? The stock market as you know it is the old stadium. It will still exist in a certain form, but it's going to be a ton of different ways for you to invest in the market in the future, and you want to make sure that you're able to take advantage. All right, that's all I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Listen, remember, invest smart, live free, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.